Harlem Fuzz, what up? What's my respectful prediction? To to be honest, man, I really don't have no faith in our justice system. They gave R. Kelly 30 years for the same charge. And he didn't pay for no prostitution. He didn't fly no escorts anywhere. And Azriel Clary and Joycelyn Savage were his girlfriends. They weren't even prostitutes. And R. Kelly got 30 years for the same shit. 30 years, bro, for his girlfriends. 30 years. So I don't know, man. That's what scares me about Diddy sentencing. Like, if they gave R. Kelly 30 years, and nobody cared, R. Kelly had the same exact charges as Diddy. And he got found guilty of RICO by himself, nobody else. He just ain't have the lawyers and the money to fight it like Diddy did. You know what I'm saying? So Diddy didn't get hit with the RICO, but R. Kelly, they charged him with the same thing, and he got 30 years. 30 years. And one of the girls is still with him to today. He got 30 years, bro. So it's hard for me to feel like this judge is going to be fair. And the judge is Indian. I'm not being racist, but how many of you black men ever dated an Indian woman and was able to for her to bring you home to her parents? Hindu, red dot on the head, Indian. The judge is Indian. White people mess with us more than Indian people do. And I'm not being racist, I'm just being real. So that is another concern is the race card. He got an Indian judge. I don't know, man. For me personally, what I think he should get is no more than 3 years, right? One, because his classification, it's not a violent crime, right? Even though y'all saying it's about, oh, did you see how he kicked her and all that and at the in the video and this, that, other. Did she call the police? No. Did she stay with him? Yes. She stayed with him for at least 2 more years after that video. She had the opportunity to press charges right there. The security came and asked her, did she want to press charges? Do she want him to call the police? She said no. She stayed with Diddy for 2 years after that. Even after she left Diddy and went and got with the trainer that Diddy paid for, she started sexing the trainer. Like, you couldn't let that girl go nowhere. You send her to Dunkin' Donuts, she coming back out with a goddamn donut in her mouth. Like, she was not trustworthy for nothing. You know what I'm saying? He get her a trainer, she starts sleeping with the trainer. Turned around, gave the trainer about 2, 3 kids. And while she's with the trainer, what she do? She double backs, called Diddy, and talking about she missed the freak offs and went and had another freak off with Diddy while she was married to this guy. So excuse me if I'm not sympathetic to the girl y'all keep talking about. Oh, she got, you see what he did in that video? She stayed with him. So clearly she wasn't scared of him. Even after she left him, she cheated on her husband with Diddy. She went back and had slept with other men besides Diddy or her husband. And now has the audacity to sit there and try to write a letter to the judge that she's scared. And she got 30 million? If you really that scared, move back to your country where you from. You got $30 million. You got 20 million from Diddy. You got 10 million from the hotel. What are you scared of? Leave the country if you're really scared, or buy a big ass dog. Now, I'm not defending Diddy in no way when it comes to domestic violence. I felt he was wrong for putting his hands and feet on that girl, right? But however, she stayed. And even after she left, she went back. She didn't just go back to sleep with Diddy. She went back to have a freak off. Come on, y'all. At some point, somebody got to be like, she got to take some of the blame in this. She don't have no blame in this. Then they got the girl Mia, who got caught in all kind of lies during the trial, and they let her go speak in court tomorrow for the sentencing. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. So, what do I think is going to happen? In the perfect world, he will get 1 to 3 years. In the black man's world, in the white man's world, they going to hit him with the book. Even though his qualifications, his classification is super low, they're going to treat him as if he's a serial killer, and they going to throw the book at him. He should definitely put, like, if he was white, he probably wouldn't even still be in jail right now. That's the reality of it. If Diddy was a white man, this would be a white collar crime. Oh, he paid for some prostitutes. They probably gave him 6 months and a Snickers and told him to go on about his way. But being that he's a black man with an Indian judge, I I I I pray that they be fair, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. And TMZ, shout out to Queen Sheba, she was telling me how TMZ was posting allegedly that Diddy is getting time, and you know TMZ be knowing. How they be knowing? I don't know, but they be knowing. But they reporting it like they already know, like he getting ready to get hit with the book. So honestly speaking, I don't think that I wanted to say that he's gonna come out tomorrow, but probably, even if they gave him 2 years, he might be able to come home and with some time served and maybe house arrest, ankle monitor, drug program, which he did a drug program in the jail, and he took a domestic violence in the jail, a domestic violence program, which would give him, let's say, points against his system. You know what I'm saying? But I, 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 I'm gonna knock on wood, but I don't think they're gonna be fair, bro. I don't think they're gonna be fair. Just because he's black. And I hate to say it and making it a race thing. Yeah, uh he did he do a lot of foul stuff over the years in his career? Yeah. But we're just talking basically on the charges. How many people out here pay for prostitution? The company that he used, as y'all can see, is still up and functioning. And they telling me, yo, just get your wife to call back. So they will take your money still to this day. They not getting indicted. They should be co-conspirators. They sent these men across state lines. Y'all heard it for yourself. If I would have been like, yo, hey, I want Johnny to come to Atlanta, the guy from New York, I'll pay for his flight and everything. They're sending him. How are they not involved, bro? Yo, it's crazy. So Diddy wrote a letter to the judge. Judge Subramanian, and his letter says, I hope this letter finds you well and in good health and spirits. Thank you for the opportunity to express my thoughts to you. First and foremost, I want to apologize and say how sincerely sorry I am for all the hurt and pain that I have caused others by my conduct. I take full responsibility and accountability for my past wrongs. This has been the hardest 2 years of my life, and I have no one to blame for my current reality and situation but myself. In my life, I've made many mistakes, but I am no longer running from them. I am sorry for the hurt that I caused, but I understand that the mere words, I'm sorry, will never be good enough, as these words alone cannot erase the pain from the past. Over the past 13 months, I have had to look in the mirror like never before. My pain became my teacher. My sadness was my motivator. I have to admit, my downfall was rooted in my selfishness. The scene and images of me assaulting Cassie play over and over in my head daily. I literally lost my mind. I was dead wrong for putting my hands on that woman that I love. I'm sorry for that. And will always be. My domestic violence will always be a heavy burden that I will have to forever carry. The remorse, the sorrow, the regret, the disappointment, the shame. I honestly feel sorry for something that I couldn't forgive someone else for. If they put their hands on one of my daughters, this is why it hurts so hard for me. This is why it's so hard for me to forgive myself. It is like a deep wound that leaves an ugly scar. Yana, I thought I was providing for Jane, concerning her and her child. But after hearing her testimony, I realized I hurt her. For this, I am deeply sorry. I lost my way. I got lost in my journey, lost in drugs and the excess. My downfall was rooted in my selfishness. I have been humbled and broken to my core. Jail is designed to break your mentality. Jail is designed to break you mentally, physically, and spiritually. Over the past year, there have been so many times that I wanted to give up. There have been some days I thought I would be better off dead. The old me died in jail, and a new version of me was reborn. Prison will change you or kill you. I choose to live. Every day since my incarceration, as difficult as my circumstances currently are, I have made the best of my time by reading books, writing, working out, or in therapy, obtaining the tools and the knowledge to deal with my past drug abuse and anger issues. I have been putting in the work and working diligently to become the best version of myself to ensure that I never make the same mistakes again. I realize that I am in a situation where no amount of money, power, or fame can save me. Only God can save me. My grandmother used to teach me that God makes no mistakes and that everything he does is for your good. I believe that a bad situation can be used for good. Although this situation has been the hardest and darkest time in my life, good things have come out of this. Good things have come out of my incarceration. For starters, I am now sober for the first time in 25 years. I have been trying my best to deal with my drug abuse and anger issues and take accountability as well as my positive steps towards healing. One of the most beautiful things I have experienced is being asked by my fellow inmates to teach and mentor them. They wanted to learn what I did to become a successful businessman. I was inspired by their hunger and their desire to learn information in order to not only set goals, but achieve any goal, dream that their heart desires. I started teaching a 6-week program called Free Game, title given by my fellow inmates, which I was able to have approved and sanctioned by the BOP, the Bureau of Prisons. I don't just teach about my success, I also teach about my mistakes and failures. It has truly been a blessing to do something positive in a negative situation. It has been beautiful to see the newfound hope in my fellow inmates' eyes. The most shocking thing was to see the unity and the peace that this class has produced. As you are probably aware, jails and prisons are segregated places. However, in our class, we have black, Spanish, white, and Asian all together in one room, learning and working together. We even have an interpreter for the Spanish speaking inmates. The biggest miracle that I've seen with the class is all of the gangs such as Bloods, Crips, MS-13s, Torontos, and 18th Streets in one room working together. I am also proud to say that since this class started, there have been no fights in our unit. This class has also helped me in my time of need and despair. Being able to do something good for others has also given me much needed hope. God blessed me with this opportunity to help others, and I will continue to do so. I asked for your mercy today, not only for my sake, but for the sake of my children. God blessed me with seven beautiful children, three sons and four daughters. Their names are Quincy, Justin, Christian, Chance, Jesse, Delilah, and the newest addition, a 2-year-old daughter, Love. Four of my children lost their mother, Kim Porter, as she tragically passed away in 2018. I am their only parent. I have failed my children as a father. My father was murdered when I was 3 years old, so I know firsthand what it takes not to have a father. More than anything, I just want the opportunity to return home and be the father that they need and deserve. God also blessed me with the greatest mother in the world. My mother sacrificed her life and dreams to provide for me and my youngest sister, Keisha. She has worked 3 jobs to make sure we had a roof over our heads, clothes on our back, and the best education. My mother is now 84 years old, and she recently had brain surgery. Despite her own health challenges, she attended my trial every day. I have always been her primary caregiver. It breaks my heart that I put myself in a situation, and for the most time, I am unable to be there for my mother when she needs me the most. As I write this letter, I am scared to death, scared to spend another second away from my mother and my children. I no longer care about the money or fame. There is nothing more important to me than family. I understand that one factor the court has to consider is deterrence. Deterrence for me and for others to ensure that no one follows in my footsteps and makes the same mistakes. Y'all could cry if y'all want. For over a year, I have been locked in one room with 25 other incarcerated people, sharing the same one room. In this room that I share, there are no windows. There's no natural clean air. There is no sunlight. And we all live in this one room. We eat, sleep, use the toilet, take showers, and prepare meals all in the same room. The conditions that my actions have placed me in are inhumane. I don't tell you this for pity or sympathy. I'm just simply sharing my truth and the truth of my fellow incarcerated people. We have no clean drinking water, and we boil our drinking water. We all share one washing machine, which is broken. I am surrounded by drugs, and I live every day with the constant threat of being stabbed or losing my life. Again, I'm not expecting your pity or sympathy, but my time at the MDC has changed me forever. Prior to being in jail, I took care of what was present for my family. Being in jail and because of my conduct, I lost the ability to care for my mother. I lost the ability effectively to raise and support my children. I have missed my three daughters' proms and graduation. I have missed taking care of one of my daughters. I have missed taking one of my daughters to college. I have lost the freedom to teach my 2-year-old how to speak, dance, play, or be there to console her when she falls down or has a nightmare. I started from nothing and worked hard to earn everything that I had. But because of my conduct, I have lost all my businesses. I have lost my career. I lost the charter schools that I started, and I have destroyed my reputation and stained the reputation of those who worked for me. I lost my being present with my family. Between of all of my losses and lessons, I can state for a fact that I will never be in another criminal courtroom again. And I do not believe any person would do anything similar from fear of similar punishment. If you give me a chance, I would like the opportunity to share my story with people to prevent at least one person from making the same mistakes that I made. I can't change the past, but I can change the future. I know that God put me here to transform me. Since incarceration, I have gone through a spiritual reset. I am on a journey that will take time and hard work. I'm proud to say I'm working harder than I ever have before. I'm committed to the journey of remaining a drug free, nonviolent, and peaceful person. I thank God that I am stronger, wiser, clean, and sober. God makes no mistakes. I realize that this trial has received a tremendous amount of global press, and Your Honor may be inclined to make an example out of me. I would ask you, Your Honor, to make me an example of what a person can do if afforded a second chance. If you allow me to go home to my family, I promise I will not let you down and I will make you proud. Today, I humbly ask you for another chance to be better, to be a better father, another chance to be a better son, another chance to be a better leader in my community, and another chance to live a better life. I am writing this not to gain any sympathy or pity. This experience is simply the truth of my existence and has changed my life forever. And I will never commit a crime again. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sean Combs. That was heartfelt. That was very heartfelt. And I believe most of the things that he said. Let me tell you why. A lot of things that he said in that letter echoes off of my incarceration, right? The crimes that committed, the things that I did in the past, all the stuff that I did in the street, my experience in jail, from going to from the tombs to going to C-73 to C-95 to HDM to C-76 to the boat to what do you call it? Work release and having to go back into jail for work release. That experience for me is what made me go into modeling and acting and videography and become a producer and director. And I never been back to jail again. Why? Because of the conditions of the jail, the conditions of uh, fighting and protecting yourself in jail. And I went through so many different jails. You know what I'm saying? C-95, HDM, nigga, I walked in and it's blood everywhere on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, the nigga just got killed. So And then, the first person to come visit me was my mother. My girl at the time was pregnant. You know what I'm saying? The first time I saw my child was in the pregnant belly on a visit. So I believe everything that he's saying in the letter as far as, you know, being sorry and never wanting to come back and change your life because I'm that guy. You looking at him. You know what I'm saying? So I believe everything that he's saying, about wanting to be there for his kids, because that's why I changed my life. I didn't want my kids to come see me on the visit. I didn't want my mother to come back to the jail and see me. You know what I'm saying? And all y'all young niggas out there, I'm telling you, you think these niggas in the street is your friends and your homies and they gonna be there for you? When you go to jail, niggas forget about you. I could just think of two guys that I know that came to see me. You know what I'm saying? I can't even remember if any of my other homies came to see me, but my mother was always there. You know what I'm saying? So everybody deserves a second chance. Is right. Mickey made it. You know what I'm saying? And when I got my second chance, I never looked back. You know what I'm saying? I even stopped hanging with the dudes that I used to hang with. It was nothing personal. You know what I'm saying? But when I got my life together, oh nigga, I'm not coming to sit on the bench with y'all niggas and while y'all drink beers and none of that. None of that. You know what I'm saying? And I got into the entertainment business and there was no looking back. And all I've been doing since I've been in the business is try to educate people on even on the business that is corrupted. You know what I'm saying? And how they will do you effed up in this business. You know, now my goal is to just travel the world. You know what I'm saying? After coming out of financial devastation, out of child support, I even went to jail for child support, right? Because even if you fall on hard times, child support, they'll send you to jail. And who was the first person to come see me when I went to jail for child support? My mother. Not no niggas in the street, not no homies, my mother. You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say that, reading that letter, it was definitely heartfelt. And I believe what he's saying. I definitely believe what he's saying, and I wasn't even a drug addict. You know what I'm saying? In my experience, because in the streets, our first rule was don't get high on your own supply. Don't use drugs. We didn't use drugs. You know what I'm saying? And he got a different experience from being in there, being and getting clean. Me today, I don't even smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? So everything is constant elevation. Everything is maintaining a clear mind and having focus and living your life. And you raise your kids. And then when your kids leave the nest, and you know what I'm saying, then you live your life for you. Enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that, they don't slam him for paying for prostitutes. Because as you can see, you can still call and get escorts today. It is nothing changed. You know what I'm saying? You could go right on the website, just like Cassie did, just like 50 Baby Mother did, and what you call it, pick the guy you want. He show up, bang you. You could pick three guys and bang three guys in one night. And what do they do? The women go on and live their life and have a beautiful time. They got a hell of an experience. You know what I'm saying? And Diddy goes to jail for it. He's not in jail for the CNN video. He's not in jail for domestic violence. He's in jail for paying for his women to have a good time that they enjoyed, that they did voluntarily. And he got daughters, he got sons, he got a mother, he got a family out here that need him, especially the kids that don't have their mother. And I think a year in jail is more than enough time just for paying for some prostitution. Like, come on, y'all. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But prayers up for Diddy. You know, I know a lot of y'all like F that nigga, let that nigga rot. He's been a demon. He did so much to people. Whoa, 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 whoa. I agree with you on that. And his karma is his karma. But we are talking about just the criminal charges that he was convicted of. This ain't a moral clause. This ain't about karma. I'm only speaking on the criminal charges. If I could just call up to the place just now and steal from the same company that he called and order some men for my lady, how are you going to give him a bunch of time? And he was found not guilty on everything else, the RICO and everything else. So just speaking on the charges, you tell me he should get 11 years what the prosecution is asking for? 11 years for soliciting a sex worker or an escort that we just called up and still could order today. Nobody at that company got in trouble. Instagram then they come to go on my story and come to the YouTube. Right? Any one of us could call right now and order one of these guys and stuff. Are we going to get 11 years for that? Are all the people that's calling right now going to get 11 years for that? No. And this company is probably making millions after the Diddy case. That you can't buy better publicity than that. So just speaking on the charges, they really trying to give him 11 years for a company I just called and said I would like to hire some men. And I said, hey, isn't this the company that Diddy used? Yeah. Well, I guess you know that if you call it. Yeah, well, I want to get something for my lady. Okay, well, have your lady call back. That's simple. And he's going to get it. Y'all trying to give him 11 years? And I could call up there and I'm not going to go to jail? That's crazy. That is crazy. You're not going to tell me that ain't no race thing. But we'll see.